Hello everyone, this is Light Liger here again, and today I will be having an AMA with the Xion Finance and Xion Global developers. They will be talking to you about this very exciting project, and you can find a lot more information regarding the project in the description down below, regarding the implementation of their technology, the exchanges, and all other social media links. Let's get started. Hello and welcome back everybody. Today I'm going to be having AMA with the Xion finance team. And I guess I'm just gonna, I hate doing intros with, live stream. So I just let you guys introduce yourself. Like, tell me, how did you get into crypto and how did you end up working on Xion finance eventually? Like, tell me a bit about your background here.
Sure. So myself and Ronan have got about over 10 years of e-commerce experience, payment gateways, logistics, and then going to project management as well. So we've basically built a whole lot of different businesses in the US and abroad over the last 10 years or so. And basically, we got to the point where we found a lot of problems in the e-commerce model in terms of payment gateways, subscriptions, and a whole lot of different areas where we knew there was room to improve. And that's basically why we went into the blockchain side of things. So for the last, for a few years, we did a bit of trading. We just kind of researched Ethereum mainnets and seeing what guys are doing at the moment, and if there's any systems actually out there that are catering for the problems that we're trying to solve. And eventually went into it and started drawing together a white paper and just brainstormed with the team. And yeah, we started getting into it, and eventually as we started getting the system built, we got incubated by CV Labs in Switzerland. And that kind of just kickstarted everything. We got the chance to be mentored by amazing blockchain enthusiasts and leaders in the industry. And we got to build our entire e-commerce, decentralized e-commerce payment gateway. And since then, we had amazing traction. We beta tested it. We processed just over $10,000 through our hosted checkout, just to make sure that it was user-friendly, conversion-friendly, and it just worked really well. We kind of laugh at it because if you look at Stripe and Coinbase, we essentially built a baby of that. If Stripe and Coinbase had a baby, that would basically be it. And since then, we kind of said, okay, well, we need another aspect to it. We need to go into the finance side of things to really bring it to life and add the XGT use case. In terms of using it to purchase products and 0% transaction fees in a whole lot of different areas. So just about 2 months ago, we actually launched our decentralized finance application, Xion Finance, and that's been doing really well. We've allowed users anywhere in the world to just start earning a passive income, to start liquidity mining with $1 or even less, because we're using the xDAI chain. And that's just allowed transaction fees that are less than a cent to be able to invest. So yeah, that's where we are at the moment. We've got a lot of things going right now. We've got an amazing team backing us. We've got our developers from ByteRocket and Didcraft. They've got degrees in computer science, cybersecurity. They've got a lot of experience in building different cryptographic protocols. So yeah, just got an amazing team at the moment and pushing forward every day.
Yeah, I think the big thing is, our big focus is e-commerce. We come from a heavy background of e-commerce. I started from a very young age, where I got my first laptop. I was 10, 11 years old. I got my first laptop, computer, actually. It was a big box. And, that was, I'm 30 right now. So that was a long time ago. But, from that stage, it was always trying to find some sort of avenue to create a passive income online, and I think a lot of people are trying to find that avenue. And, through the years of building these subscription companies, Shopify stores, using almost every tool out there, we realized that there's so many complexities out there, and people can't, you can't expect someone to get into something if they don't understand it. Tell someone, okay, go out to Shopify and launch an online store, but it's a lot more sophisticated than that. And to become successful with it is a whole nother thing. So through our journey, through the e-commerce side, we ended up creating a white paper and focusing heavily on the e-commerce side. That's really our vision, creating something that people can utilize, user-friendly, easily, globally, and being able to scale an online business with the right tools. So for instance, we ended up creating, when we first started on the, selling online, I started with t-shirts. And when we started selling t-shirts online, we used Facebook advertising. That was when Facebook ads first released. And my parents still turned around to me and said to me, no one will ever buy a t-shirt online. Little bit, that was, it was a big thing that was coming in the e-commerce side, and in the next few years, we ended up selling a couple of $1 million in apparel online using teespring.com, creating, different niches, going into certain niches with Facebook advertising. And that really, that really got big around the world. I would say we were probably the first guys in South Africa that were doing it in a big way. And then from there, we got into subscriptions, and we launched 2 subscription companies in the USA. And the one was a fishing. Now, I'm not a big fisherman, but it was a niche we got into because Facebook ads was doing really well. We were getting the conversions on it. And we didn't just go and create a Shopify store. We looked at what other avenues can we take to increase conversion rates, because a lot of people don't realize that Shopify's conversion rates are only between 2 and 4%. That is extremely, extremely low. When I look at it, we ended up going to ClickFunnels. Now, ClickFunnels is essentially a funnel layout. So you bring a customer to the first page and you offer them a low ticket item, and essentially that increases the conversion rates to get the customer in. Once the customers purchase that first product, now you've got them in, you've got their credit card details. Now every single step after that, they just need to click a button to purchase the product or a subscription. And that's essentially how we grew both subscription companies and into multiple 6 figures in less than 6 months. And through that, we realized there was still a lot of complexities involved, and we wanted to provide other people with access to this, to the system, because it is complex. And that's essentially, Xion Global is the big daddy of Xion Finance, essentially, where that's our main focus. And what we're bringing out, we truly believe, since we've been in it and we've experienced everything in the e-commerce side, we understand what needs to be brought to the market. And that's bringing out templates, bringing out, these tools that provide, these merchants or these online sellers easy access to get started immediately, and not needing to go add multiple applications and spend all this money on these fees every month. And that's essentially it. There's a lot of applications out there right now that offer a wide variety of things, and people get lost, especially when it comes to advertising, getting it set up. So our model really is with Xion Global is coming in with, innovating with blockchain technology and, using our knowledge, from the past 20 years of selling online. So that's really our angle now. Aaron's big time into the technology side with the blockchain. I'm more onto the business side, investments, funding business, all that kind of stuff. And obviously the vision of Xion Global and Xion Finance and where we want to go with it, in the next couple of years.
So what eventually led you to the decision that you wanted to do this on xDAI versus like another layer 2 solution on Ethereum or another blockchain for that? Like, why did you guys end up choosing this one?
So I can just briefly touch on that. There's basically one answer to that. We built our hosted checkout and we had a 50-cent product, which we said, okay, let's test it out for one of our stores, one of our Shopify stores. And we processed that transaction on Ethereum mainnet, and the gas fee costed about $90 just for that 50-cent product. So we immediately said, that's it. We're going off the mainnet. This isn't going to work for e-commerce, especially because it took nearly an hour just to process the transaction to get, thank you for your purchase. So we actually had close ties with a lot of different companies that are already on the xDAI chain, and we knew the scalability side, and the transactions only processed in about 5 seconds, transaction fees less than 1 cent, and because we were actually already using the DAI stablecoin. So xDAI to us was just the most feasible and best solution to get into. And we immediately went onto the xDAI chain, and within a week, we then said, okay, let's process some more transactions. Let's run a whole lot of transactions through the system. And yeah, then we were processing transactions in less than 5 seconds and allowing the journey and the customer journey through the hosted checkout to be so seamless and just amazing in a decentralized world. So it's really now looking and saying, taking a traditional world, taking general consumers that have no experience in crypto, that don't even know what Bitcoin is, coming into our hosted checkouts after they've clicked on a checkout button on one of the online stores, putting their shipping information, putting in all the different information for, if they want to have the product shipped to them, and then checking out with credit card or debit card or Apple Pay. But now the trick to that is the merchant isn't receiving fiat. Technically, the consumer is now purchasing DAI, and that's through our third-party provider called SendWire, who are PCI compliant, and we basically just use them for the fiat to crypto on-ramp and off-ramp. So how it works is, as soon as that DAI is purchased, it goes into a rebalance mechanism, and that's through AWS and the key management service and everything, combined with some of our smart contracts, which really says, okay, we get your DAI, and we immediately deposit an equivalent xDAI into the smart contract to basically pay the merchants immediately. So you're not waiting for the DAI to be processed on the Ethereum mainnet, and the consumer at the end isn't going to be experiencing the gas fees associated to that. So that's kind of why we went onto the xDAI in terms of the e-commerce side, and now we're obviously on xDAI as well for the finance side of things. And that allows the liquidity mining for $1 or less. But now we're not saying that xDAI is going to be our sole chain. We built XGT as a cross-chain native token. So we were already on Uniswap, and we're on the xDAI chain. And now we're actually looking to go into a whole lot of different chains, which I'm sure a community aware of is looking at the opportunity of BSC. That's really just to try and bring more users, more liquidity, a bit more exposure, and then even looking at different chains like like all the different, like I think Matic, yes, Matic, yeah, exactly. But yeah, we built it as a cross chain, so we can go into all the different chains. But xDAI will definitely be our main chain, for e-commerce and in the DeFi system.
Yeah, I think that's very smart because, as you already talked about, I've used xDAI since last year, and I know that the benefits of the low fees, and there's never a worry because with any other chain that is not tied into any type of fiat peg, Matic might go 10x from here, and that means that the fees will go alongside with when the price of the main utility token goes. So that's kind of one of the key benefits here with xDAI, is that the price technically will be always the same. Now let's kind of talk about your token. So tell me a bit about the tokenomics here. Why should people buy it, and what is like the main utility here for the token, and where also people can get the token as of right now? Like, what's the main proposition here for the token, as an investment?
Yeah. Sure. Okay, so XGT was built as, firstly, not just for liquidity mining, it's built as a payment and rewards token. So with our hosted checkout going to be updated and released soon, you'll be able to use any XGT you're holding onto now to be able to actually purchase products from merchants with. And that means 0% transaction fees. And then on top of that, you'll also be able to get cash back when you purchase, say, with your credit card or debit card, or you purchase with an external wallet. You'll be able to get up to 100% cash back in XGT. And then, once you get that 100% cash back, you can return for a repeat purchase, or you can go to a different merchant and use XGT to purchase, or you can use it to speculate in, the different markets, or even liquidity mine with it. So we didn't just build XGT as a token for liquidity. We built it as a token to use for payments, for rewards, and we even do a compounded subscription loyalty program for merchants, where They can say, okay, listen, you're a consumer, you're holding XGT, you've now purchased a subscription from, say me as a merchant. If you have enough XGT every single month, we'll deduct a certain amount of XGT to be able to give you a certain amount of discount off that subscription. So eventually you're looking at nearly getting a subscription for free just by holding XGT for those discounts. So it's a massive incentive around e-commerce. That is really what XGT was built for. That is the main purpose of it. Xion Finance is, like Ronan said, it's the smaller version. Xion Global is the big daddy. It is the e-commerce side of things. That's where XGT is going to get its real use case. And we're also going to be going into governance down the line. We're going to be using XGT for proposed software changes and everything in the system. But yeah, no, definitely the main focus is around the rewards and as a payment token.
If you think about it from a merchant or a retailer perspective, if they're able to provide cash back, up to 100% on any purchase, that's, what traditional system can do that right now? That's how powerful XGT is. And on the other side, it's the brand loyalty. You've got a lot of merchants right now that that are offering, instant discounts, or it's like a quick discount. Yes, 30% discount. Yes, 40% discount. But for me, we had to look at the bigger picture, and we thought, okay, people, dedicate to certain brands. And if for instance, if I'm an Apple lover and I've been dedicated just to Apple for the last 10, 15, 20 years, whatever it is, I want to have special treatment when I walk into an Apple store. I want to be able to be incentivized way more than a person that doesn't own an Apple product. And it's only fair. I think brand loyalty is a big thing for, merchants. And, with our compounded loyalty program, which, we've been working on for a very long time, it's, the mechanics of it are very sophisticated. It offers such an opportunity for consumers to become, loyal to their brands for longer, due to the incentivizations they're getting from the merchants. So that's one of the big things, and especially if a merchant's going out and promoting these products or services that they've got, and they're saying, hey, listen, on the cashback reward side, buy a PlayStation 5, or, buy a service from me, or, be a part of my brand, and get 100% back, in cashback rewards. That's just one of the sides. And if it's on the subscription side, it's saying, listen, the longer you stay subscribed to my service or my product, the more you're going to save, and the more incentives you're going to get for being loyal to, to my brand.
And even just to add on to that, that's the whole consumer's advantage, but also the big advantage for merchants when it comes to the compounded subscription loyalty program is the ability to actually predict their recurring revenue. Because now you're predicting how long your customers can stay for. We've actually got a very sophisticated discount calculator over time that will actually say to merchants, okay, if a customer stays with you, or 100 customers stay with you for a year or 2 years, you'll be able to actually predict your recurring revenue, which is very essential for a lot of different merchants. Give them enough discounts over time to retain those customers, build a steady stream of revenue, then giving a once-off discount and the customer purchase the product and they don't come back, or they come back, a lot time later. But the whole thing is about brand loyalty. That's the big thing as well.
And to track that, where these huge corporates are, spending millions of dollars on advertising and marketing, and they have no clue what the returns are. That's exactly, that's one of the big things also about the loyalty program. Provides an avenue to realize exactly what you're spending versus what what's coming in, which is a big thing.
So one of the questions you guys didn't answer yet. So if people want to buy the token, where can they get it? So if I did look into, it's currently available on decentralized exchanges, and Ronan, you talked about kind of like bringing the merchants in, and everything has to be kind of like easy and fluid. Like, are you guys planning to list on a centralized exchange where perhaps people who are not so tech savvy can basically come in and invest on the project? What are your plans on that?
You want to go ahead, Brian?
Yeah. So at the moment, we obviously on the decentralized exchanges, and we do have plans, some big plans for centralized exchanges. But we've always been, our vision is to try and keep this decentralized. That really is, one of the things. But we know that getting on a centralized exchange makes it much easier for consumers or users to get XGT. So at the moment, to purchase XGT, you can go to Xion.finance. We have a partner called Ramp, where you can instantly purchase xDAI. And once you've purchased xDAI, you can do a swap from xDAI to XGT. But we would obviously, we recommend, going into the farming, as the rewards, you get rewarded in XGT. And obviously, as long as you keep on farming, you'll carry on receiving XGT rewards, which will soon be able to be used for purchasing these products or services. Maybe Aaron can touch a little bit more on the centralized exchanges and what we're looking at right now.
Just for the DEXs, Ronan mentioned Xion Finance, but at the moment we're on 2 DEXs, Uniswap. We've just got a wrapped ETH XGT pair on Uniswap, and then we've got a wrapped xDAI XGT pair on HoneySwap, amongst different trading pairs like Honey XGT, Stake XGT, and a whole lot of different pairs. So at the moment, that's where we are trading. We also have, small. We have a Bilaxy exchange, but that's a relatively small volume at the moment. That was just a small thing to really just increase a certain amount of trading volume, but we have already looked, obviously everyone knows V3 on Uniswap's coming out, Layer 2 solutions on Uniswap. We're preparing for that. So, we're going to be testing on, the Ring-P testnet soon to make sure that we're going to be one of those first pools on Uniswap, because definitely want to take advantage of the Layer 2 solutions. And, now we're looking at BSC, potentially one of the different DEXs that are on BSC to get a BNB XGT pair. So that's just in terms of the DEXs. And then the centralized exchanges, I think one of the big things we're looking at BSC is potentially being able to then get on Binance. I think that's where we're aiming to go. And that's kind of one of the reasons why we're also looking at BSC at the moment.
Okay, that is very ambitious. And you gotta be, if you're gonna be building big things, you gotta go aim for high. The next question I want to ask, what are you guys, what is your timeline here in terms of the roadmap? What are the things that you're going to be bringing in during this quarter? Because some people are obviously saying that, the bull run might be over by, start of September. Some people are saying June. Are you guys going to be having a certain big updates before the summer? What are you guys planning as of right now to deliver for the potential investors?
So at the moment, as our community knows, we are focusing on the BSC. So that, everything goes right, we can get that up and running within the next month potentially. And we're aiming for a lot of liquidity at the moment, but in conjunction with that, we aren't leaving out the hosted checkout aspect. We're trying to get our e-commerce system running as well, because that's going to increase the use case of XGT on a dramatic scale. And then going further, for us, we've got a huge NFT campaign that we've been really excited about. That's going to not only drive the impact of the NFTs in the real world case, but it's going to allow liquidity providers on, say, the wrapped xDAI XGT pair and potentially a future BSC pair to be able to earn an extra APY on their stake to be able to redeem these NFTs. Now, these NFTs, as you know right now, they're mainly just digital art that's been out there. You get some that are based on tweets, but there hasn't been NFTs that I'm aware of that has a real world impact, like sustainability. And in our case now is reforestation. So we've got 2 big partners. So we've already partnered with Unifty. As you know, Unifty is the xDAI NFT farm that's already out, and we've partnered with them and a new partner that we're going to be announcing soon for the reforestation, which essentially allows you, as soon as you redeem an NFT, to be able to plant a certain amount of trees in communities affected by deforestation. So this is going to increase a massive amount of liquidity, we believe, based on the fact that people are going to be able to get an increased APY on staking their LP tokens. And then additionally, they'll actually be able to also get a concrete APY, depending on which NFT they hold, for about 24 months. And yeah, we think that's going to drive a lot of liquidity, drive a lot of liquidity providers to stake the LP tokens and really get a lot of exposure. And this all is happening within the next month to 2 months. Even before that, in this industry, you got to be fast paced. And we've always been very fast at what we do in anything when it came to e-commerce and now when it comes to decentralized systems. So yeah, we aiming to really get this going, get a lot of liquidity and get our providers using that HTT very soon on the e-commerce side within the next month to 2 months.
And then, in terms of roadmap and, what we've got planned, coming soon, from Xion Global's perspective, we're looking at launching early Q2. So that is the plan with the hosted checkout. And, I know people might be worried saying, the bull market's done and that, but on a point of what we've built and the system that we're providing, I don't feel, from that standpoint, I don't think that, a bear market is going to affect us at all, just due to the fact that we're going to be processing, e-commerce products, services, those payments, and every payment that goes through, XGT is involved in that. So, on that side, we truly believe that once the e-commerce aspect is out and launched, that is going to drive a lot of adoption, from that side. So we've got a lot of, from a marketing perspective, we've got a lot of media campaigns coming very soon. It's taken a bit of time to get everything set up, but we have got a lot of things in the works right now, getting onto radio stations, getting, obviously onto more influencers, doing more AMAs, and a lot more marketing initiatives, around Xion Global, getting early adopters from the merchant side. We have meetings scheduled every day with different merchants, especially located in South Africa right now, where I'm based. So that's obviously one of our big focuses. And then, like I was saying, from a media perspective and marketing perspective, that is coming soon. And we're going to have a lot of drive on that side, getting people to understand that. Also from Xion Global's site, we've got a big updates coming to the site, where we believe that, just the messaging, getting the messaging across better to the merchants and the consumers, is going to be a lot easier. Once we get the new sites, just the new updates on the new site on Xion Global, our message will just stand out more, and people get to understand exactly, what we're providing, from that standpoint.
So, okay, I had my mute muted, sorry. So going into that e-commerce side of things, if I'm like, a guy running an e-commerce site right now, or a business, and I know nothing about crypto, like how do I get contact with you guys, and like how hard it will be and easy to going through all that process to get that thing set up? Like run me down a bit of that, like logistics sides of that.
Yeah. So right now we have an early adopter for merchant signups, so they can visit Xion.global to sign up early for once we do when we do launch. So there's an instant sign up there where they just have to put in some details. We can get a better understanding of what they need and what they obviously what kind of business they're running. And in terms of getting set up, it really is simple. It's going to Xion.global. Once it is available, the e-commerce platform, it's using any of your social login or an email address or phone number to log in. Once you've logged in, there's no KYC that's needed. Instantly log in, and then you have the ability to create checkout buttons. Now, these checkout buttons that we've been busy with have full customizable solutions. So you're able to change colors, sizes, wording, all that kind of stuff. And obviously, when you create these checkout buttons in the platform, you're able to set different, from a subscription side, from the recurring billing side, to the one-time payments. So you obviously have these options that you can select. And then also from the standpoint of activating cashback rewards for the checkout button or the loyalty program on subscription. Now, once you've created the checkout button, it's going to give you 2 lines of code. And that 2 lines of code, you can easily copy and paste onto your e-commerce store. So if you've got a WordPress store, Shopify store, whatever it is, we're not saying to you, listen, take away your existing infrastructure. No, we're saying add this additionally to the existing infrastructure. So if you're already using Shopify, it's really easy to create a checkout button on our e-commerce platform and add this button below your existing Shopify, add to cart button, and give your consumer the option to check out with either or. Once the consumer checks out, once they click on that checkout button, on the Xion checkout button, it takes them through a dedicated hosted checkout. Now, this hosted checkout is really easy for a consumer to check out through. Obviously, Aaron did mention, last year, November, we did a lot of beta testing with it. We had over 1,000 consumers that created digital wallets and checked out. So when you land on the hosted checkout, after you've clicked on the checkout button, it instantly gives the consumer an avenue to use any of the social logins through our partner Taurus. So they instantly creating a digital wallet. There's no app needed to download. That was one of the big things. We don't want people to download another app. There's so many apps already out there. So by giving them an instant avenue to create this digital wallet with a social login or email and having that security as well, as soon as they log in, they create their accounts, they can add the shipping details. If it's a digital service, a digital product, they don't need to, obviously add any shipping address. They can go straight to where you enter in your credit card details or Apple Pay, Google Pay, or you can instantly use one of the top crypto wallets to check out. Now, once you've checked out with any of the crypto wallets or Apple Pay, Google Pay, credit card, debit card, through any of our partners on there, you'll instantly get the cashback rewards depending on if the merchant has activated. So, and anytime the consumer returns to any other merchant that's also offering the Xion checkout, the payment ability, the checkout button, they can instantly use the same digital wallet with that social login to re-log in and have their balance there and being able to check out immediately. So providing them with the global access to a digital wallet, and it's really simple to get set up. Like I said, with the social login, we want to make it easy, user friendly, and obviously having the global the global rewards aspect on that.
Is there like a specific type of e-commerce vendors that you're kind of looking or focusing on right now, or is it like everybody who's interested can basically join in, or are you guys like going per niche right now, or trying to like conquer a certain niche inside these sort of markets, whatever it's clothing or digital goods or something? Like what are you guys like aiming there?
Yeah, I think, right now we are open, we're open to any merchant that wants to sign up. But, at the moment we have, from the current signups that we've got, a lot of CBD, marijuana companies, apparel, clothing. We're looking at a current partnership with SAPTA, which is one of the biggest subscription associations in America. Now that gives us instant access to the likes of Netflix, Dollar Shave Club. We did, and Dollar Shave Club ended up, they ended up working with us in the first year of 2018 on a lot of the ideas around, what they were struggling with and how we can, bring an easier solution for them to the table. And so, from that standpoint, from SAPTA, we're looking at a lot of different subscription companies that we want to bring on board, because obviously, we do focus heavily on the subscription side. But in terms of any merchants or products or services, we really are open to anyone and anything on the platform.
I think also just to add to that, one of the biggest aspects and the benefits is also for many third world countries. So with our experience, we had a lot of barriers when we just wanting to accept subscription payments, and that's from registering a business. That's paying additional transaction fees when you want to create a subscription for your consumers. So a lot of it's going to benefit a lot of third world countries. But with any existing stores that are running, say in the US or abroad, it's just adding an additional payment option to say you're going to profit more. You're going to get more customer loyalty, more brand loyalty through this, and you're going to get more repeat purchases and a more steady stream of revenue.
tell me a bit about like how many people are working on, on Xion Finance? Are there certain people who are just working on the DeFi side, and then you have the people working on the commerce side? How big is the team right now? Are you recruiting? If people want to like become part of the community, are there positions that are currently up right now?
So at the moment, we've got about 2 to 3, actually, no, 4 developers working on both the DeFi and e-commerce side of things. So our team is not that big at the moment, but yeah, we've got a very dedicated team, a very enthusiastic team. So we're making big strides every single day. And then on the other side, we've actually got, maybe not from a development standpoint, but we're bringing on a lot of ambassadors as well. And we've got a whole lot of different applications for that. If any of our community is looking to spread the word and get one-on-one time with us as founders, get any apparel from Xion or anything like that, and even XGT incentives as well. So at the moment, I'd say our whole team is probably about 15 people. I would say, from developers to community managers to PR, a whole lot of different aspects in management as well. And yeah, we are looking at bringing on certain advisors, but we're very picky with the advisors we bring on. They have to bring a lot of value to our system. So we are looking at that at the moment.
And also, one of the big things was, as when you're working so hard on the technical side, and you've been dedicated for the last 4 years, like ourselves, in the technical side, it's also hard to try and get the message across to consumers. And that's why we've also brought additional team, 2 people on that side, to help us, that have worked on Lyft, Skype, those sort of companies that helped get the message across. And that's essentially, what we're working on now, to make sure that people understand what we're offering as a product and service out there.
Great answer there. And obviously, people who are watching, if you have any questions for the developers, let me know in the chat. Now, one of the things I still wanted to ask about is that if I did kind of sort of ask it already, but like where, if I'm like e-commerce side, where do I contact you guys to get things set it up? Like, do you have like a website with the guidelines and everything? Like, are you planning to do video tutorials for everything? And like, yeah.
So obviously you can go directly to xion.global, xion.global, and you can go straight to the merchant sign up form, get signed up for once we do release. In terms of getting to understand the system more and everything, we obviously are on Telegram. We have a lot of trivias going to teach our audiences about what we are building and what is coming from that side. So, the big thing is, we want to provide the tools to these merchants and these retailers, and being able to give them easy access to use this. So from a standpoint of getting set up, it is really, really easy. So once you sign up onto the platform, we have a really a simple structure of step 1, 2, 3, 4. This is what you've got to do to create the checkout buttons. Obviously, we have nothing to do with that, and I think that's the big thing with current, traditional systems that are working on, these payments or the subscription side and onboarding merchants, where they're saying, listen, if you onboard, it's going to take 30 days and we'll take you through everything and we'll help you get set up. That's not what that's not what we're about. We want you to be able to start immediately once you sign up, so giving you the guidelines, everything will be available once we launch. You'll have all the guidelines there from step 1 to step 4, on every single aspect. So it really is easy to get started, set up, get these checkout buttons, start monetizing your store, and offering your consumers another avenue for purchasing.
Who do you see as your biggest competitor? Is it somebody who is in the crypto space, or is it somebody who's in the traditional e-commerce side of things? Like, who is your biggest competition right now? Like,
yeah, so it's tough.
Tough question.
Obviously there are quite a few systems out there on the blockchain side, such as Coinbase Commerce. You've got Monarch Pay, the likes of those guys, and then obviously from a traditional aspect, you've got Zuora, Recurly, Chargebee, those kind of things. So, from innovation side, we really are innovating where they are not going. And that's the biggest thing. So, we bringing out solutions that, because we've been in the industry for so long and we've been through all of it, we really are creating something different to what's currently out there. So, yes, Coinbase Commerce might be our biggest competitor from a blockchain standpoint, but we feel like, when you look at these commerce systems that are being created, they're essentially trying to, copy Shopify, and they're trying to get the merchants to move over from Shopify to them. And that's a huge thing. No one's just going to move over from a system that already works. And that was why we wanted to build something that you could add to the existing traditional systems and add these additional incentives, from a payment side to reward side and all that stuff. But yeah, Aaron can also chat more about that now.
Yeah, like Ronan said, I mean, there's nothing much to add to it. It's really on a traditional side, Zora, biggest competitor. On the blockchain side, it is Coinbase Commerce. But we adding the DeFi aspect to it as well. So it's not just e-commerce; it's decentralized finance as well. And bringing those two together into a DeFi and e-commerce ecosystem, that's something that hasn't been done before. And we think we are one of the first in the industry to bring it to life.
Great answer there. There hasn't been any questions so far on the chat, so I guess you have been answering really fine here. And I think that more people are going to be knowing about your project, and once they have followed, I think then a lot of those questions are going to be piling up more. What are the plans and things? And we have explored a lot of those things here. Is there something you want to still touch upon, like saying something, the final pitch line for the people, why we should invest in you instead of something else right now? Why should you deserve my bags right now?
Well, I would say, we're a very unique solution. And, when you think about where, Steve Jobs created, Apple, the first iPod, where there's innovation and people, don't understand it to the fullest. That's essentially where we are. We believe that we're a very unique solution. And, this is something that could essentially be, one of the biggest platforms in the world competing against, the top of the top. That's really what we want to go for. And it's not just, by providing this, we want to provide value to the world. That's a big thing. Our vision is really about providing a lot more value than what these corporates are providing from that standpoint. Getting communities more engaged and having a more of an exciting journey being part of a brand and a product. So, if investors want to get, in touch with us and involved with this, you can obviously go to Xion Global. We have all our contact information below there. We are currently going into our seed round, and we are in discussions with a lot of VCs right now and a lot of exchanges, for funding and obviously bringing this vision to life and moving forward with it.
Speaking of funding, have you guys applied for any type of incubation money? Let's say when you're going to be moving into the Binance Smart Chain, have you thought about asking money from Binance perhaps, or doing some type of a sale through a launch pad of sorts? What are your guys' thoughts on there? Like, in terms of getting more funding and expanding the project, because obviously you are building something very large, and at some point you probably gotta be adding more people to the team. So to build a larger, like what are your plans there?
So obviously we can't go into too much detail with it, but all we can say is that we are in discussions with the top, with the top VCs and exchanges that are pretty excited about what we're building. So I can't go into too much detail about it, but that is, our plan right now is, getting partners that can provide the value and, help us bring this vision to life. Because like you said, it's a really big project. It's an entire ecosystem. At the end of the day, we're looking at bringing suppliers. We're looking at adding essentially, like a freelance network into it. So it really is creating an entire ecosystem. And we are currently in talks with the partners that, could potentially bring that value.
Okay, thanks for Ronan and Aaron coming here to talk about the Xion Finance. And I'm going to leave all the important links and descriptions, text into the description, and you will be able to view this video as a VOD. I'm going to be editing it, so cutting out those technical issues we had just in the middle. But you know, thanks for coming in, and it was a pleasure talking with you. You have a very interesting project, and I will be investing myself, and let's see how it goes here. And I think this is one of those projects that just needs to be talked about a lot more, and I think people will get more interested. And even though you talked about, you know, those existing competition, you know, you had the Coinbase Commerce, yeah, so this is not like very saturated yet, oversaturated in the crypto space. I think there are a lot more room for e-commerce, and I've been waiting for a lot this, you know, retail wave to actually happen in crypto, because I felt that that was going to be which would eventually take it to the next level. But it seems that the institutions have been here to play this year especially. But I think retail is indeed one of those more important roles to play here, having that ability to use the currency to pay something. Once again, thanks for you guys, and hoping to hear good stuff from you in the future.
Thank you. Thanks for hosting us. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Yes, bye-bye.